Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial video on the knots you need to know for exploring the outdoors. This video is split into 7 sections and the timestamps for each section are available in the video description, so you can easily skip to the section you want to focus on. This video also has subtitles to make learning easier. For this activity, you will need 2 pieces of rope, preferably about 30 centimeters in length, although I used one piece of rope about 1 meter long and just used both ends. If you don't have rope to use, shoelaces or ribbon may work. String is likely too thin to use and will be very difficult to untie, so if you can use something thicker, that would be best. First things first, we need to talk about knots to make sure we know what we're learning about. What is a knot? A knot is any combination of twists and loops in a rope. Some more specific terms to use are hitch and bend. A hitch connects a rope to another object, like a carabiner clip or a pole. A bend connects 2 ropes together, often to make the rope longer. A couple of useful terms to know are working end and standing end. The working end of the rope is the one that is actively being used in tying a knot, while the standing end is the other end that is generally stationary. The first knot we will learn is the reef knot. The reef knot is a very useful knot. It's generally used to make 2 ropes into one longer rope, or to make one rope into a loop. It's important to note that for a reef knot to work well, the 2 ropes must be of similar thicknesses. If they're not, you should use a different knot to tie them together. Firstly, I take the 2 ends of my ropes and put the left one over the right one. Then I take the left rope and tuck it under the right one. Next, I do the same thing but opposite. I take the right hand rope and place it over the left hand rope and threading the end through the hole. To tighten a reef knot, you need to hold all the ends at once and pull. You should end up with a knot that looks something like this, nice and symmetrical. The second knot we'll learn is called the round turn and 2 half hitches. It sounds complicated, but it's really pretty easy. The round turn and 2 half hitches is used to attach a rope to an object, so it's a hitch. It's useful for things like mooring a boat, where you need to tie the rope onto a pole. This knot is one where you can do it multiple times and the knot will become stronger. The first part of this knot is a round turn. You can see from the pictures that a turn is when a rope goes over a pole, while a round turn is when the rope loops fully around the pole. Notice how some of the pole is left uncovered with a normal turn, but the whole way around the pole is covered with a round turn. This makes the knot stronger and less likely to slip. The round turn and 2 half hitches is exactly what it says it is. First, you tie a round turn, then you tie a half hitch, and then you tie another half hitch. Let me show you how it works. First up is the round turn. Let's make a turn around our pole, and then keep going around to make it a round turn. Then we're going to take the working end and place it over the standing end, under, and bring it through the hole we've just made. Make sure to tighten up at this step because you can't tighten afterwards. You've just tied a half hitch. Then we're just going to do the same thing again. Working end over, under, and through. Pull on the ends to tighten it. The clove hitch is a knot that a lot of guides struggle to learn, so I will do my best to explain it clearly, but don't be surprised if you need to watch this section a few times to get it. The clove hitch, as the name implies, is a hitch, which means it's used for attaching a rope to another object. It can be used for tying fenders, which are protective buoys, to boats, or for tying bundles of sticks together. This knot shouldn't be used if there is going to be a lot of force on the rope, as it can slip and roll. We need to create 2 different loops in the rope and overlap them. Pay close attention to how I am making these loops, as if you don't do them right, your knot will fall apart. Notice how the vertical rope is over top of the horizontal rope on the left-hand side, but is under it on the right-hand side. We're going to take the right-hand loop and put it over top of the left-hand loop. If you've done this wrong, your knot will fall apart. Next, let's place it over our pole, and to tighten, pull both ends. The rolling hitch is an interesting knot in that it is designed to slip around. This knot is able to be used as both a hitch and a bend. You shouldn't use this knot on very new slippery ropes as it will slip too much to be useful. Also, if you're using this knot as a bend, the inactive rope, which is red in the picture, must be thicker than the active rope. To tie a rolling hitch, first make a round turn around a pole. Notice how the working end has crossed over the standing end. Repeat this one more time. This time, the end of the rope needs to go through the loop you've just created. To tighten it, pull on both ends of the rope. The bowline, sometimes pronounced bowline, is a very useful knot. A bowline makes a loop in the end of a rope. It is possible to use it to make a loop in the middle of the rope, however that's more difficult, so we'll stick to just the end of the rope in this video. This knot can also be either a hitch or a bend, so it is very versatile. You should consider how much strain the rope will be under when tying this knot, as it can come undone too easily when not under much strain, but it can get stuck under a lot of strain. This is how I tie a bowline. First of all, take your rope and make a loop around your pinky finger. Then, take the working end of the rope, put it up through the loop, behind the standing end, and back through the loop. Then, pull on the areas I'm pulling on to tighten the knot. It should look like this. We've learned all the knots we need to for the badge, so let's recap. Today we learnt the reef knot, then the round turn and 2 half hitches, then the clove hitch, the rolling hitch, and finally the bowline. You should be able to tie these knots without looking at the video, so you can use them at guide camps and in your daily life. They can come in very handy. To complete the courses, you need to do a few activities with these knots. These activities are compulsory for the badge, so you will need to send proof of you doing them to your leaders. I hope this video helped you learn the knots you need to know for guides, and that this knowledge will be useful to you in the future. I will do my best to answer any comments that have questions in them, so if you need clarification on some things, just write a comment down below. See you next time!